it's another Monday night. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Modern Sinkala. It's an interesting evening that we have tonight because my guest for tonight is, is into refereeing. So that's the guest that we are featuring for tonight. So we'll be learning more about refereeing and about him, how he got into refereeing. All right, so that's the special guest that we have. But as usual, we have different segments on this show. We have how much do you know about your sportsmen and women? Look out for that. And please, last week's caller, our caller from Mundola, please call us again. We couldn't get your details properly. So call us again to say I'm the one who called in last week. You got the answer correctly, but you couldn't get your details correctly. So call us again today so that we can send you that talk time for calling. All right. So our first segment, as usual, Esther Mwale, who is the Horn FM sports anchor, is here. Esther, good to have you once again.
Hi, Modern. Good to have you. I mean, I always enjoy being part of the sports hub. It's always nice being part of it.
Right. Well, I know a number of things have happened in the past week. What is trending?
Well, yeah, so many things happened, Modern, and for the first time, I must say, I'm so excited. For the first time, as far as the chess, category is concerned in Zambia, we'll be having inmates participating at the chess international championship that will be happening. So as you can see here, we've got some inmates that play chess. And the Chess Federation of Zambia has announced that it will indeed acquire their services. It will indeed get to acquire their services as they get to, the 2023 International Chess Championship. So, according to the report that was released via the Chess Federation's Facebook page, we were told to say 8 inmates will be given this opportunity to represent Zambia at this international chess competition. But the thing is, they will not be playing physical, but they will be, participating via online, which is not really a bad thing for as long as they be able to participate. So yeah, it's a good move. So I'm happy that they're trying to, they're trying to involve them in everything that is happening in the country, so they don't get to feel left out. The fact that they are inmates doesn't mean that they don't deserve a chance out there to showcase their talent. So yeah, I really enjoy this photo. So all the best to the inmates and all the best to our country Zambia, as we'll be participating at the international chess competition. And of course, just taking you back, Modern, to the other week fixture. That's of course involving Nkana Football Club and FC Muza at the Hoodlands Stadium in Lusaka. So there's this scene that happened, Modern, that was indeed funny. So as you can see, we have the Nkana players as well as the FC Muza players on the pitch, but they were lacking, or rather missing, their first choice goalkeeper. What has happened there? I've seen. Hold on, let me get to that, Modern. So they were missing their first choice goalkeepers, both sides. And then I'm a goalkeepers bari kuisa. And looking for the goalkeepers bari coming out from the tunnel, Nomba. They're like trying to push one another to say, wake up, tangira pokuya, wake up, tangira pokuya. And then, as you can see there, it was the Nkana goalkeeper that I had to push the FC Muza goalkeeper to say, pokuya, go. And then I also get to follow my part. And yeah, that's what happened. Asonkom nanko, and then naena, aya. But
what is the logic there? Is it about is it superstition or what? They say the player who goes in last maybe claims all the glory.
I think so. This is what was trying to happen between these two sides, because I mean, I don't even know what to say, but it was really funny. But yeah, according to some several reports, other reports have indicated to say some superstitions could have been involved, to say warambira pokufika kashingo so I think this was what was trying to happen here. But guess what? In the end, it was Nkana 1 and FC Muza 1. It was a 1-0 draw between the two sides. So I don't know why they were trying to, bother themselves to get to do all that. But anyway, as we get to wrap up our local stories, Modern, we have, a sad incident that happened in Mississippi compound. So as you can see in the photo here, this is a player from the Mississippi, this is a skipper rather from the Mississippi
Young Gunners.
And apparently after the game, he was attacked by the fans.
Terrible.
So,
terrible.
Like I always say, I keep on emphasizing this to say, football should be something that gets to unite people and not tend to divide people. But I don't understand. It's like most people most soccer fans don't really get to understand that. They get, I don't know, there's a certain way they get to feel about their fellow opponents. But this shouldn't be the case in football, Modern. Football is all about uniting thousands of people that get to come out in the stadiums to support, the teams and stuff like that. So it was indeed a sad story, but we're hoping to get more details of, his healthy status, whether the injury isn't that serious or whatnot. We'll be back with the same story. We'll be able to keep, our eyes glued to the same story. But now moving on, Kuyakchalo, Manchester United is a team that has been, I don't know if I'm right to say, suffering at the hands of Andre Onana. So they left De Gea. They let De Gea go, and they had acquired in the services of Cameroon international Andre Onana. So now Andre Onana hasn't had a good run at Manchester United. He has conceded close about, should be 10 goals. So far, so good. And as you can see these ridiculous photos of him, Modern, this was a time that I think this was his second game at Manchester United, and it didn't end so well for Manchester United, and it did not also end well for Andre Onana. And people have been trying to compare Andre Onana with Harry Maguire. So I'm so sure in the first photo you saw a photo of Andre Onana having his head. There. As you can see, this is Harry Maguire's face, but this is Andre Onana's head. So they're trying to compare the two people, like putting them together.
So that's a photoshopped photo.
Yes, it's photoshopped by the angry fans, obviously, who are not happy with Andre Onana's performance. So yeah, they're trying to prove a point to say Andre Onana and Harry Maguire in the same WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
we've been seeing what Harry Maguire has been doing for Manchester United. So yeah, but anyway, over the weekend he did try to prove the fans wrong. Over the weekend, he put up an extraordinary performance against Burnley. As you can see right there, he was indeed trying his level best to save all those goals that were coming in from Burnley. And in the end, it was Manchester United that had secured 3 points in this game. So I think it's just a matter of giving Andre Onana some time. Perhaps he'll be able to pick it up and just be able to replace David De Gea. You never know. And talking about David De Gea, I've been told that Cristiano Ronaldo is in talks with David De Gea to try to convince him to join Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. But we'll be able to give you the details regarding that story. So yeah, this is what I had for you today, Modern.
Thank you very much, Esther, for that. And we'll look forward to next week's segment as we bring you more trending stories. Right, we move on to another segment, and this is a segment we call How Much Do You Know About Your Sportsmen and Women? Last week, I showed you a photo of a sportsman, and at least I received a call from someone from Ndola. Yes, that's the photo, and he got it correctly. He said Hilary Makasa, and correct, yes, that's the late Hilary Makasa. And please, we couldn't get your details. Send us a message on 0955 202904 so that we can get your details. 0955 202904 so that you can receive that talk time for getting that answer correctly. So Hilary Makasa, who was born on 12th January 1972, was a Zambian football player. Makasa was part of the Zambian team that competed at the Africa Cup of Nations squad at the Africa Cup of Nations in 1996 and 2000. Remember, at the 1996 Africa Cup of Nations, Zambia reaped a bronze medal. It was a great performance. So clubs he played for, from 1991 to 1999, he played for Ron United. 1990 to 2001, he played for South Africa's Ajax Cape Town. Then 2001 to 2002, he played for Ria Stars in South Africa. 2003 to 2004, came back to Zambia to play for Nchanga Rangers. Unfortunately, Makasa died on 5th October 2020 at the University Teaching Hospital in Lusaka. That's our Zambian legend there. May his soul continue resting in peace. Today, I have another photo for you. I'm sure very few would identify this one. Who is this man on the photo? He is a Zambian legend. Call us on 0211 25 30 25 or a message on 0955 20 29 04. This one is only WhatsApp. Or if you want, you can go to Facebook and send a message on our Sports Hub Facebook page or Modern Sinkala Sports. Who is that man? He's a Zambian legend. Well, I'll be very happy if you're able to identify him. So let's look at some of the results from the past week. We start with basketball in the Midlands Basketball Association MBA League. Week 16 and Week 17 games played on 23rd and 24th September 2023. In the Super League, it was Hawks 77, Huskies 74, Munadi Suns 75, Red Arrows 69, LCC Looters 71, Green Buffalo 72, Unza Pacers 50, Matero Magic 97, Matero Warriors 75, Bulldogs 73. In the feminine category, Dolphins 80, Unza Hannies 24, Green Buffaloes 57, Magic Sparks 44, Mystics 20, Hotspurs 57, Lusaka Basket Queens 84, and Napsa Breeze 44. It's interesting the way the league is panning out. Can you imagine? Munali Suns are the ones leading in the Super League, and in the feminine league is Lusaka Basket Queens. So apparently, Lusaka Basket Queens a breakaway from Unza Hannies, and also Lusaka Basket Kings, who are the league leaders in the B League, are also a breakaway from Unza Pacers. So Unza Pacers and Unza Hannies have been weakened at the moment. So this is what is happening. From basketball, we go to netball in the Midlands Netball Association Mina Premier League. Week 16 games played at NAPSA Sports Complex in Lusaka. On Saturday, it was Lusaka City Council 45, Kalingalinga United 33, Unza 20, Red Arrow 68, NAPSA 35, Green Buffaloes 50, Prison Leopards 41, Nkwazi 40. Wow, this was a very tight match with only a goal difference. Mazabuka United 36, Green Eagles 58. So Mazabuka, Green Buffaloes are still leading on the table and they're unbeaten so far in the league. In the men's league, it was Mazabuka United 30, Nkwazi 47, Green Buffaloes 49, Unza 20. So that's what was happening in the world of netball. From there we go to the MTN Super League in football, where we saw Prison Leopards going down at the hands of Kabwe Warriors by 2-1. It was an interesting Kabwe derby. Landu Miete scoring for Prison Leopards in the 27th minute. Ocean Mushure scoring for Kabwe Warriors in the 37th minute. And Field Kandela scoring in the 90th minute. That's how Mamba picked up a victory there in the Kabwe derby. Forest Rangers 1, Nkana 0. More problems for Nkana. Chito Shichinga scoring for Forest Rangers. Well, what is Nkana going to do to start winning? They only have 1 point from 5 games. Konkola Blades 1, Green Buffaloes 1. Francis Muvanga scoring for Konkola Blades and Gordon Mashata scoring for Green Buffaloes. Trident nil, Mutondo Stars nil, Nkwazi nil, Kansashi Dynamos nil, Mufulira Wanderers 1, Red Arrows nil. Trezo Ilunga scoring for Mufulira Wanderers in the 58th minute. Awena Mirambo Tavale Yangala yo this season. They want to remain in the Super League. The NAPSA Stars 3, Zanako nil. Would you believe it? Yes, and Chaniza Zulu scoring, Zikiru Adams also scoring, and Bosta Sioma condemning Zanako to defeat. On Sunday, it was Green Eagles nil and FC Muza 4. So this is the game which brought a lot of controversy. No, officiating was not good and all that. The guest my guest in the studio today will be able to amplify on that one as well. Power Dynamos 2, Zesco United 2. This was an interesting electricity derby here where no team won. Instead, they started for a 2-0 draw. But Power Dynamos scored first. Zesco United had to come from behind. In the first National Division 1 League Week 5 results, on Saturday it was Atletico Lusaka 2, Nchanga Rangers 1, Indeni 1, Quito United 0, Kafue Eagles 0, Young Prison Leopards 1, Chambishi 0, Lumwana Radiance 0. In a rescheduled Week 4 result, it was Chipata United 1, Mpulungu Mpulungu Youth 1. So this is a game which was played at the newly handed over DK Stadium in Chipata, so it was interesting there. Then Aguila Stars and City of Lusaka settled for a 1-0 draw. In the first Women's Super League, with 2 results, it was Red Arrows 3, Trident Queens 1, Yasa Queens 0, and Indeni Roses 2, Noria Sosala, the veteran, scoring, as well as Noreen Betani. Then Kamfinsa Blue Eagles 4, Kawe Celtic Queens 1, Messi Chipasula scoring 2 goals, a Gift Chilwizi and Mwangala Namakao scoring for the Kamfinsa Police Blue Eagles, while Agnes Musere scored for Kawe Celtic Queens. In the rescheduled game which was played at DK Stadium in Chipata, it was Chipata Girls 0, ZISD Women 3, Janet Kajira scoring 2 goals and Longo Enamasiku scoring 1 goal. We wind up in terms of results with the English Premier League. As you know, we are showing English Premier League games on TV1. So it was Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 0. This is a game that we showed on Saturday. Luton Town 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Yes, Luton Town 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Manchester City unbeaten so far. Brentford 1, Everton 3, Burnley 0, Manchester United 1. Then on Sunday, it was Arsenal 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Very interesting match. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, and AFC Bournemouth 1. Chelsea 0, Aston Villa 1. What is happening to Chelsea really? Liverpool 3, West Ham United 1, Sheffield United 0, and Newcastle United 8. What a scoreline. It was like netball. So that's what happened over the weekend. And also Copper Queens on Friday beat Morocco by 2-0 in an international friendly match. And another friendly match will be played tomorrow at the same time. The kickoff is 20 hours. So we'll dedicate the Copper Queens a song done by Kabova, Ben Blazer, and General Ozzy. This one is titled Chipolo Polo. Getting it to the Copper Queens, who are taking on Morocco on Tuesday in the second international friendly match. So earlier on they beat Morocco by 2-0. And of course, the Chipolo Polo are in pot 3 of the AFCON qualifiers. We can't wait for the 2024 AFCON tournament. So time for me to introduce my guest in the studio. He is actually the FAS referees manager. He's the one in charge of allocating referees, which referee will go where. So he's the man at the center. Very important man. So thank you so much, referees manager Azif Banda, for joining me.
Hi, Modern. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good to have you.
Thank you, my pleasure.
All right,
thank
so
you.
You're very much welcome, and you can take a seat there so that we hear more about you. So first things first, I would want to know who you are. Give us your background. When were you born, where, and who exactly are you?
Thank you very much, Modern, and good evening to the viewers. Let me mention that the man seated here is Azif Banda, like you have rightly introduced me. I was born on the 24th of November, 1976. Okay, so I think from there you can tell Modern whether I'm my older brother or
Indeed.
I was born from Mr. Blackwell Ruben Banda as my father, and my mother is Madam Anna Zulu. Okay, so this is about this man. Like I said, I was born 47 years ago, and here I am. Went to primary school right here in Lusaka. I was born in Lusaka, by the way.
Oh,
yeah, I was born in Lusaka, Chipata compound. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
Not
the Chipata in Eastern Province.
No, not at my home village, but the Chipata here in Lusaka.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was born, and then I went to primary school in Garden Compound. That's where I did grade 1 up to 7.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. From there.
From there, I after writing my grade 7 exams, I passed. Okay, and proceeded to do my junior secondary school at the famous Munali Secondary School. Okay, so yeah, I passed through Munali Secondary School, and from Munali Secondary School, I did very well actually. I was amongst the best students then. And as you know, in the olden days, if you are doing well, we had 2 schools that were actually getting the cream of the country. And I'm talking about David Kaunda Secondary School and Hillcrest in Livingstone. So I was actually chosen to go to David Kaunda Secondary School.
Right.
And that's where I completed from grade 10 up to grade 12.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What trade did you choose after completing your secondary school?
Yeah, look, I always wanted to be an accountant. Okay, yeah, I chose to be an accountant, but you know, sometimes our plans are not God's plans. So studying to become an accountant, but I deviated and started doing something else, which I'm very proud of now. Yeah, so that is my profession that I really wanted.
Okay, yeah. Great. So how many are you in the family, and are you a family man?
Yeah, of course, I am a family man, Modern. We in the family, we are actually 6, okay, 4 sisters and 2 brothers. And I also happen to have a family. I'm married, a beautiful wife, okay, and I've got 4 children. Yeah, amongst the children that I have is actually 3 girls and 1 boy.
Right.
And I'll tell you, the boy is the last born. He's the one who made me to reach 4 because I really wanted to have a boy.
I can just imagine the panic. Another girl.
Yeah, okay. Sure. So I'm a family man more than.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. Sure. So how did you get into sports? Have you been involved in sports from the beginning or from school?
Yeah, actually sports, I used to like it from the childhood, from primary school. We used to play a lot of football. Actually, my parents had a tough time, you know, to control me in terms of can you concentrate on school? But you find that it's those arrangements where you get your bag and, you know, pretend you're going to school, hence you run to a field of play and you started playing football. So I started actually envying and wanting to play football from way back. I started by being a player. Okay, I used to play football.
Okay.
Believe you me, primary school, very good footballer. I went into secondary. That's when now it became more serious when parents were telling me, look, you need to choose between school and sports. Okay, and during that time, I actually became very, very good footballer, and I was identified by one coach who is alive even up to now. He even coached the national team. Then he was coaching Red Arrows Football Club some way back at Nkoloma Stadium. This is Coach Patrick Piri.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you were to meet Patrick Piri even today to say, tell us something about Azif Banda, he will tell you we could have another Messi in Azif Banda.
Wow. I wish we could see clips of you.
No, I was
playing as a midfielder.
No, I was playing as an attacking, player.
Okay.
Actually, I'm left-footed. I used to play left-footed.
Okay.
So the way you see those free kicks for Kalusha Bali and the like, that's the kind of play that I used to do. And the Coach Patrick Piri really encouraged me, and he told me to say, look, you can become, Leo Messi and the like. So the problem became bigger when I actually entered into senior secondary school, when now it was serious that I need to concentrate on studies. And there was that pull, the tug of war between where should I go? Is it school or football? And that's when now I stopped playing football and concentrated on refereeing.
Right. So did you receive support from your parents for you to be involved so much in football?
Look, initially I didn't, because like I said, they wanted me to concentrate on school. But it's such a thing where somebody, loves something, and at last they just accepted to say, look, this is what he wants, and let's just support him. Not until other people went to them to tell them to say, look, you people, this boy has got a talent. actually, if you can allow him combine school and football, he may actually prosper in his life. Then that's when a little bit of some comfort to let me go and play football came in. But they really wanted me to go to school, especially mom. I think she really wanted me to go to school, and that's when I actually stopped playing football.
Okay. Yeah. Is there a particular reason why you didn't want to forge ahead with playing football?
Playing football, I really wanted to, but the most important reason that I can give you is the one that I've already mentioned, to say I was pushed too much to concentrate on school, because the parents actually were telling me to say, look, football is a short-term career, and what you need to do is concentrate so much on school. You can be playing football, but concentrate so much on school. So you find that when I went to DK, also the competition also at DK Modern, I'll tell you, it also let me just do away with football, because the time that you want to go and train, you find that your friends are carrying books to go to study, and you are thinking next time we're going to be writing exams and all that. So you find that you just forget about this game and say, okay, fine, I think let me concentrate on school. So I think that's the more reason why I stopped playing football.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you go into refereeing, and who inspired you?
Wow, good question. How I went into refereeing is the passion that I have for the sport. Like I told you, I love the sport from childhood. So when the playing career was like coming to an end, when I decided to say, look, I think I'll hang my boots and do away with football, I started now thinking to say, in which other way can I contribute to this beautiful sport? Because it's a sport that whenever I'm walking and I see even kids playing football, I would stop and start watching. That's the passion I have for the game. So I told myself to say, look, I'm not playing, so in which way can I now contribute to the game? And watching the games locally and also internationally, I was inspired now to join refereeing. On the international scene, I'll tell you one referee that everybody sings about even now. Even you modern, if I was to ask you to say, mention the Italian referee who you think is the world best, I think you give me the name.
Yes.
Collina.
Yes, Collina, yes, Corina. Yes,
Porigo Corina was, I got inspired with that man, the way he was just officiating football. And when I was just following refereeing, even locally here, we had my good friend, he's a very, very good friend of mine, we've worked together, Wellington Kaoma. I think I also saw what he was doing on the pitch, and I got inspired. And especially with his body stature, if you see Wellington, he's not that big, he's like me. And he was my friend, and we used to move together. So whenever I'm with him, I'm like, if this guy can officiate football the way he is, I think even me, I can do it, right? So then I got inspired and started training with the referees and joined them, and I even went up to the highest level, and I'm talking about being a FIFA referee.
FIFA referee?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Any key games that you remember officiating?
Of course, they are there, Modern. When I was a FIFA referee, I think I traveled countries to officiate the game. But the one that brings memories to me is the TP Mazembe game. And apparently that was the first international assignment I got. Okay, TP Mazembe were then playing a team from Botswana, if I'm not mistaken, Defense Force from Botswana. And we went to Congo. Apparently TP then did not have their Lubumbashi stadium, so they used to play their games in Kinshasa. So we went to Kinshasa. Oh, that game, the crowd, okay, the spectators and the stadium in there. First of all, I said, look, we are used to Nkoloma in Zambia, we are used to Woodlands, and you go into this stadium where it's fully packed. And there we are now, they're telling us officiate the games. But I remember very well, again, Wellington Kaoma was my referee there, the central referee, and I think fourth official was also Nimpanisi, and my other friend, Love Mojere, that was the crew that went to Lubumbashi. It was a beautiful game. We enjoyed ourselves, and after everything, people were like, oh, these Zambians, they look very small, but they've really done it. So that is the passion that I have for the game, and that's one of the games that I remember I did very, very well.
Great.
Yeah.
So for you, you were a center referee.
No, for me, I was an assistant.
You were an assistant referee.
Yeah.
You didn't want to go for the top job.
No, I wanted to, but the refereeing the way it is modern, when you're moving from the bottom going to the top, you find that even now, these lower division games, Division 3, 2s, somebody cannot they can do both, right? They can be a referee, they can also be an assistant referee. But as you go up, you need to specialize. Okay? You can either be an assistant.
You can't do both as you go.
At international level, you can't do both. That's why you've seen the likes of Janice Kazwe is there. They never held a flag. Okay, him specifically was a central referee. And there are other assistant referees that we can mention. Kenny Chichenga, for example, he went to the Africa Cup of Nations as an assistant referee. So as you go up, you specialized. So I was the assistant referee.
Right. Yeah. So at some point, if you feel, no, I think I'm tired of being maybe an assistant, I need to upgrade. There's nothing like that, like upgrading.
Well, you can upgrade, but the rule for FIFA, I'll tell you that when upgrading, you first of all have to be off for 1 year.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, okay. That's the rule for FIFA. So, for example, I'll take one of our central referees in Zambia. Talk about Matthew Zamalila. That's the name which has come. Matthew Zamalila is our central referee. If he thinks he wants to do the flag now, that means 1 year he will not serve on the panel. Come the other year now, that's when he can apply to become an assistant referee. The reason why they do that, Modern, is that they also have to check you to make sure that you are specialized in that particular area. Especially when you're doing these international games, they can't risk to just move you from there to there, because they need to monitor to see that you can do the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one referee I know who said, I think he started as the top referee. Then I think he received advice that no, I think you are better off being an assistant. So sometimes you advise like that.
Yes, sometimes we do advise, and I'll tell you what FIFA and CAF are looking for now. The stature of a referee also matters. Okay, you've seen the height of Giannis Sikazwe. Yeah, that is the stature that FIFA will tell you to say these are the people that we want to be central referees. Okay, because he's got the body, when he's facing players, at least he's looking into their eyes, and that you cannot get a person who is of my height. Imagine I'm officiating Cameroon versus Ivory Coast.
Where the top player,
then the players will be looking at me like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so body stature also matters, and we do advise our referees. If we've seen and identified a very good referee in Zambia, and if the height is not good, we'll tell them to say, as you're going up, just specialize to become an assistant, because where you're going, FIFA wants a certain body stature for you to be a central referee. So we do advise them like that.
All right.
Yeah.
So at your time, who was the Referees Association of Zambia president?
Yeah, then we had RAZ, and I like the way you've put it, the Referees Association of Zambia. Then we had the late, may he so rest in peace, Mr. Aaron Nkore. Aaron Nkore was then the president, and Mr. Wedi Chikuka, him is still around. He was then the general secretary of the Referees Association of Zambia. Yeah, okay, he was working together with Mr. Dixon Soko on the Copper Belt. These are the people who actually gave me the first appointment as an international referee.
Interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, when I started practicing my journalism career, I found Mr. Wedi Chikuka as the president of RAZ.
Oh yeah, then after Mr. Nkole went, I think Mr. Chikuka then came in as the president of the Referees Association of Zambia.
Okay.
Yeah.
How easy was it that time to become a FIFA referee or FIFA assistant referee?
Thank you, Modern, for that question. I'll tell you this, whether in the years back or now, it's never easy for one to rise to the top. Okay, because everybody knows to say the top is where you can enjoy officiating. Okay, and this is a fact. Let's not hide this. The referees that are officiating in the leagues now, and this is what I want to tell them, to say, look, if you want to officiate a game where you're going to enjoy, be free, and interpret the laws of the game without looking in the spectators to say, am I going to be stoned here? Go to the top and referee these international games. It's so nice and so beautiful, because that is where the international football is being played, and the discipline is there. The discipline is there. So really, at the top is where you are going to enjoy your refereeing. So I would urge the referees to actually work extra hard so that they aim to get to the top, because Giannis Sikazwe will tell you, Diana Chikotesha will tell you, those that have been to the World Cup, to say, look, when you just step in there, there's good money is there. You can enjoy being a referee. If you are working, actually, you can even think of retiring. You just concentrate on refereeing. Okay?
Interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
So, what made you retire from refereeing?
Yeah, okay. So thank you for that question again. I used to be a very active referee, but two things I think I can mention that forced me to go on early retirement. One very important one is because of an incident that I was found in, a very unfortunate incident, and I thank God here that I'm still alive. He protected me. As you can see, I think I lost part of my hand in that particular incident. I was an active referee then, okay? And then I tried to come back to see if I can do it even with the way I am, but unfortunately, I think the body could not allow me. Then I decided to just hang up the whistle and retire. And that is the more important reason. But
are you able to share with us what exactly happened to you?
I mean, why not? Why not? I mean, that's why you are here. You want to hear my profile, okay? So unfortunately, I was attacked.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, I was attacked by criminals, and that is way back in 2012. And this is a period that we were playing the Africa Cup.
Yes.
The time that we won the Africa Cup.
Yes.
Believe you more than the time that we were watching the Africa Cup, I was in hospital. The game that we won against Senegal, Senegal 3-0. Around that 2-1.
Beat Senegal 2-1 in the first game.
In the first game, yes. First game, yeah, we beat Senegal 2-1. Correct. Yeah, that game I watched it from the hospital, from the bedside. That's around the period that I was attacked. But thank God, I mean, after I was discharged from the hospital, I went home, and the final I watched it from home. And believe you me, my wife and my children joined me in crying, because I was like, but why has this thing happened to me? I could have been outside celebrating. You know, our national team has gotten the Africa Cup and the like. But such is life. You need to accept it and move on. So I was attacked by criminals. They wanted my vehicle, but after that, I think one of them was ruthless. He came and also, injured me, and in the process, I lost part of my hand.
Machete?
He had a machete. He had a machete, actually. It was coming right on my head. But in reacting to it, I'd put my hand, to protect my head, and that's how it landed on my hand. So again, the hand, I thank God, because it's the one that saved my life. Because believe you more than, if I'd not protected myself, I think I could have been not here talking. I could have gone a long time ago. But I thank God. I think the same hand which they cut is the one that protected, because the machete reached my head. Right? It reached my head, but by the time it was reaching the head, the impact was lessened by the hand. Okay, so that's a sad story about me. But
and the hand was, the hand was completely.
No. It didn't just come out right there and then. Okay, it just folded. It just folded. But when I was rushed to the hospital, they tried to bring it back, but the doctors, after they checked, they said no. I think all the muscles and everything, the bones were broken, and that's how they just amputated it. Yeah, they couldn't bring it back. So that's the sad story about me. But overall, I'm celebrating that I have a life. At least I'm looking at my family, I'm looking at my wife and my children, and here I am with you, having this interview. I thank God for that.
And by any chance, were the criminals traced?
Believe you me, as we are speaking now, they're in prison. They were caught.
Wow.
Yeah, they were caught.
We thank God.
Yeah, no, they were caught. They're in prison right now, and we went to court, and they were charged 35 years in prison, because this was attempted murder. And believe you me, they were not caught over my case. Okay, these were just criminals that were going around in Lusaka trying to steal from people, but they went and attacked somebody. That's how they were caught, and then it led to my case as well. So I went and identified them to say these are the true, and they also agreed to say, look, we are sorry, we're the ones who did this, but they're in prison as we are talking.
Wow, right. So, in terms of officiating, do laws allow, like, for one, like in your case, like to continue like officiating?
Look, these games are categorized modern, I'll tell you. Yeah, there are games that are handled by people who are like me, okay? I don't like myself calling me this, but, there are people who are like disabled, okay? They are not okay. There are games that are for the disabled. Then such kind of people are allowed to participate in such kind of games. But these other games, like the way I am, I cannot, because the demand is too high. Look at the tempo of the game that we have now. And you have somebody that is like me. I don't think you can handle the pressure. Yeah, if I'm an assistant referee, I'll need this hand, to point at where the boy is going and the like. But that I cannot do. Believe you me, when the accident happened, because I was very good assistant referee, other people came and counseled me to say, look, why don't you break the record? We feel you can still continue and do it.
Yes, because you use one hand,
exactly,
right? As an assistant.
Yes, and I bought into the idea. I tried to make inquiries to say, look, I think I can continue, but I think other quarters, they came in and say, look, I think it will not look good, and then you cannot handle it well. And that's how I said, okay, fine, I think let me look at other aspects of life, and then we move on.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So how did you get into fuzz?
Football Association of Zambia. I used to actually spend most of my years in banking. Okay, I worked for Finance Bank then for about 9 years. Okay, from there I joined Standard Chartered Bank. Okay, I worked there also for about 5 years and so. So most of the time actually I think I spent it in the bank. And that's where I used to interact with people, and because of the love of the game, every weekend I would go to watch games and all that. So during that time and the interaction with people, I was also telling them to say, look, I want to do something that I could contribute in the game of football. Okay, so I spoke then to the current FAZI president, Mr. Andrew Kamanga, because he was our customer at the bank. And I shared this with him. I said, boss, I feel I can also contribute into the game. So he asked me a question to say, oh, okay, but I know you used to be a referee, and they're like, I said, yes. So in that area, I think I can contribute. He says, okay, fine, we'll see. Right now, we don't have any openings, but when we have an opening, I'm going to consider you. And I thank God he remembered this when there was an opening at Football House to do with the referees department. And he then went through the general secretary to say, can you contact this young man, find out if he's free and if he's able to take up this job. And that's how I was called, and I attended interviews. I did well, and I was picked for the job more than. And that's how I went into Football House. Interesting.
Yeah. How has been your journey at Football House?
Very good, at the same time challenging. Okay, challenging in the sense that you know, you are managing these people who are referees and they are dotted around the country, and you know, wherever they are performing their duties, you just have to be quiet come a weekend to say, let me listen, how is it going this side and the like, you see. So with the games that are happening all over, and you know, a game of football more than a referee, very critical resource, and sometimes they make mistakes, you see, but you know, the pressure would also come to you who is managing them. Okay, we are talking about the game that has got, which has been reported to have 16 yellow cards. You can't believe the phone calls that I'm receiving over that game.
I can just imagine. So what is the reality on the ground?
So the reality on the ground, Modern, you want me to jump to answer that question?
Yes.
Regards the 16 yellow cards?
Yes.
Okay. So to start with, I'll ask from you, our colleagues in the media, okay, journalists. I think let's try to get facts before we publish something. That's my appeal. Okay, let's try to get facts, and our doors are open as referees. Okay, if a journalist comes and walks to us in the dressing room to say, I need this kind of information, we will not say no to give you, because we know that you are the people that, you know, publish and share with the public on what is happening on the ground. So I'm quite disappointed. I think I need to mention this, that somehow we are killing our own people, you see, because these newspapers are read everywhere. This social media is everywhere. You are saying that a Zambian referee produced 16 yellow cards, and yet on the ground it's not a fact, you see.
How many yellow cards were produced?
There were 8.
Oh, 8?
8 yellow cards.
So in reporting, they were doubled.
Even in the reporting, they were doubled. Wherever he got that information from, I don't know. He just went to multiply by 2 to say there were 16. But the game had 8 yellow cards and 1 red card. And I'll tell you here, the report, I was going through the report. I got interested after I saw that on social media. And the first thing I do is I called the match commissioner. You know, in a game, there's a match commissioner. This is the person who is in charge at looking at the performance of the referees, and he reports to the Football Association of Zambia accordingly. And they also keep records of whatever happens in the game. So when I saw that on social media, I called him. I said, match commissioner, I'm shocked. This thing, I'm reading 16. He said, why are you reading it, manager? I said, no, it's on social media. He says, no, don't get that to be correct information. Just there, Modern, he removed a notebook where they write to say, let me count with you how many yellow cards were there. And I went with him. He went one by one. There were 5 yellow cards for Green Eagles of Choma, and there were 4 yellow cards for FC Muza of Mazabuka.
So almost equal.
And they were equal. Not that it went to one team. They were equal, right? And let me make mention this, Modern, just for the sake of clarity for people to know, because a lot of questions now are being asked. Is there a limited number of cards that a referee can produce in a game? Okay. So in a game of football, the number of cards follows the incidences that are supposed to be cautioned. Okay. So if in a game we have got 10 cautionable offenses, there's going to be 10 yellow cards.
Okay.
If there's going to be 5 cautionable offenses, there'll be 5 yellow cards. Okay? So there's no limited number to say when you reach a certain level, you're not supposed to produce any more cards. Actually, all the players, the 22 players on the field of play, they are possible candidates for receiving a caution, a yellow card. Okay? So everyone can get a yellow card. So if we leave the field of play model and go on the technical bench, which the law actually allows that you can caution even the players on the technical bench, even the coaches. So even all the players, 54 of them, I'm talking about the 22 on the pitch, those on the technical benches, they can also be cautioned. So everyone is a possible candidate to receive a yellow card.
Right. Let's look at the welfare of these referees that you are handling. There has been complaints of they don't get the allowances that as far as you promise them. Sometimes it takes so long, and then the disparity is too much. Those Super League, those who officiate at Super League level, they're getting better allowances as opposed to those that are handling Division 1 games. What are you doing regarding the issue of allowances?
Look, I will not go into details because this is something that is administrative, but I'll answer your question in this way, Modern, and for the public to know. The Football Association of Zambia has actually came up with a plan to say, instead of the teams paying the whole amounts to the referees, they came with a plan to cushion the expenses for the teams, which is a very, very good idea. Okay, because previously the teams used to pay what we call traveling allowances and officiating allowances. Okay, so the allowances are divided into 2 for the match officials. There's what we call travel, which they are paid for traveling, and the officiating for working, for doing the work. Okay, so FAZ came in and said, look, for us to empower the teams, to help the teams, because they have a lot of other expenses during the game, camping the players, paying of the field of play if they don't have a pitch and all that. FAZ came in with an initiative to say we'll be paying officiating allowance, but they made it clear to say this officiating allowance will be paid when the resources are available at the Football Association of Zambia. Right. So yes, there's been that lapse where sometimes it takes long to pay. It's because maybe FAZ is engaged to pay these other activities. As you know, there are a lot of other things. We're talking about the World Cup qualifiers, the Africa Cup qualifiers, and the like. So whenever the resources are available, the referees have been paid. Right. And to answer your question in terms of the gap which is there between the top class referees, top class games as well as the lower division games, yes, the gap is there. And it's obvious because the MTN league is a sponsored league model, okay? And that's where the issue is. The MTN league is a sponsored league, and now we are even having the Zambian breweries coming on board. We are having other sponsors coming on board. So you cannot have the same rate as to where the amounts the Super League is getting as well as the lower division. But the cry is this: we are trying to see if we can find sponsors to sponsor the lower leagues as well. So when they sponsor the lower leagues, you find that even the allowances for the referees, they are going to be they're going to go up.
Before we end, let's review the answer to the question we asked you. Unfortunately, I couldn't receive any call. Obviously, it's a tough one, but our guest today will help us answer the question. Who is that man in the photo there? Azif.
Am I saying?
Are you able to see the monitor?
No, I'm not. I think it's
okay.
It's hidden somehow.
Okay. We're just bringing it.
Okay. Yes. My good man. Yes, very good. Yes, so tell me something. Am I also going to win something?
Well, no. For you,
Okay, very good. This is one man, a legend, we call him in refereeing. One man, may his soul rest in peace, who did proud for Zambian refereeing, for Zambian football. He officiated at the Africa Cup of Nations finals.
1976.
Or is it 74?
That's when you were born.
That's when I was born. Imagine. That's when he's no other than Mr. Kabalamula Chayo. Mr. Chayo is a former, FIFA referee. And that's Mr. Chayo.
Thank you very much for coming through. It has been an interesting conversation. We've learned something about officiating. Hope to have you soon in the near future. Unfortunately, we have to go. Time is not on our side, but we'll find other avenues to bring you in. So I had Azif Banda, who is the referees manager at FAZ. Until next week at the same time, my name is Morten Sinkala. Goodbye.